meeting. The Pierre School Board is now in session. Student Council, please lead us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dr. Cumbo, I hear you have some activities planned for us.
Yes, some entertainment from our student leaders. Several
Okay,
different groups.
as you start, will you identify yourselves, please?
I'm Autumn Iverson.
I'm Deegan Huska.
I'm Nolan Peterson.
And I'm Corbin Beestrom.
And we're going to tell you guys a little bit about Student Council.
Awesome.
Student Council focuses on being the voice of the students and being in charge of school spirit and activities.
Some of the things we do is reaching out to the community and reaching out and recognizing our outstanding staffs.
We also plan fun activities for our schools, such as school dances and homecoming activities.
Finally, we organize fun competitions for the schools such as dodgeball, the Rubik's Cube competition, and the Amazing Race.
Good.
Very good. Student Council, do you just want to introduce your supervisors from the middle school?
Oh, this is Mrs. Eisberg, and this is Mr. T, because I cannot pronounce his last name. Mr. Thompson. Would you like to tell us how to say it?
Constantine.
Couldn't have got that.
Sounds pretty simple.
Okay.
Thank you guys.
Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Cameron Eckstein. I'm for Youth Involvement Program, or YIP. Hi, I'm Cameron Eckstein. I'm the president of YIP. I'm an 8th grade student at GMMS. Youth Involvement Program is a drug and alcohol-free program for 6th through 8th grade students. We hold activities once a month. We start out the year making drug-free posters to hang up in our school. Then we move on to the homecoming parade. In the winter months, we have a gym night and host a tobacco bingo. This spring, we will again celebrate Earth Day by going out around our school picking up trash. We have over 200 kids participating in our program. Each meeting is led by a student, which is why I'm here tonight to tell you about YIP. Thank you.
Hello, this is Hattie Larson and my name is Samuel Hand. We are here representing TATTOO, which stands for Teens Against Tobacco Use. We have been involved with many activities this year. Mrs. Rogers took the 10th through 7th grade students to a training here in Pierre where we learned about the dangers of tobacco use. For our first project in our community, we went to the 4 elementary schools and did a class activity with all 3 grade classrooms, 3rd grade classrooms. One of the activities was to dump fake ingredients on a donut, telling the 3rd graders that these were the ingredients they put in tobacco products. And then after we did that, they all agreed they didn't want to eat the donut. What I have enjoyed most about TATTOO is simply just learning about the dangers, and it's just really been a fun experience.
Our first middle school activity was to host our Tobacco Jeopardy, in which we had 8 teams participate. The winning team won a pizza party at lunch. We also hosted a tobacco bingo after school, and we ran out of bingo cards because it was such a popular event. We also went into our 7th grade health classes and did a class presentation on the dangers of tobacco, sharing with our peers to not be pressured by the advertising. We had a guessing contest at lunch to promote Through with Chew. Students could guess how many gumballs were in a water bottle. The winner would win the water bottle and all the gumballs inside. We also hosted a gym night where we gave away tobacco-free gym sport balls as prizes. What I have enjoyed the most about being in TATTOO is getting to educate the younger students and my peers about these dangers.
Thank you. Good.
Hi, my name is Cade Kaiser, and I'm in the 6th grade. Circle of Friends is a group open to all students at Georgia Morris Middle School. It is having students with no disabilities build friendships with students having a disability. We take on leadership roles by watching out for each other, helping in times of need, planning and leading fun activities, make everybody feel like they belong. Buddy partners assisting in classrooms, participating in activities in the community, and enjoying fun friendship time together. Some of the group activities we have done this year include Getting to Know You Welcome, Halloween activities, Secret Santa, Christmas store, holiday party with a real-life Miss Grinch in attendance, Valentine's party with games and a heart walk around, upcoming spring fling, helping with homework, cooking buddies, and planning games of baseball, beach ball, and the Wii with our friends. My favorite thing to do is play Wii basketball with my friends. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Levi Lettler, and I'm in the 6th grade. I like Circle of Friends because we have a lot of fun with the kids. George Morris Middle School just celebrated End the R Word campaign. On March 7th, all students got to sign a banner pledging to not use the R word and to spread the word to end the word. Students received a bracelet to wear, and stickers will be handed out as a reminder to end the R word. We have many Special Olympic athletes and unified non-disabled students participating in Special Olympics, bowling, and basketball this year. GMMS and elementary basketball teams are called the Eagles, Schoolers, and Junior Eagles. They just returned from the regions in Rapid City as winners. Both teams will participate in the State Special Olympics on March 23rd and 24th in Mitchell this year. Track and field will be their next sport coming up. We would like to thank all the coaches and volunteers helping the athletes. My favorite thing to do is play Wii Sports with my friends. Thank you.
My name is Crew Hire, and I am in 6th grade. Circle of Friends had 4 teams participate in Strikes for Bowling yesterday at Lariat Lanes. 4 different Georgia Morris Middle School teams were sponsored by the Theobald and Mancuso families. Fun was had by all, and over $500 was raised to help out Special Olympics of South Dakota. We want to thank teachers Jalen Smith and Angie Boddicker for all their help with Special Olympic events. Georgia Morris Middle School plans to participate in the torch run on the morning of May 16th. Circle of Friends will both run and have a group cheer on the torch carriers at the State Capitol building. We hope you can participate with us. And the most exciting news that we just received was that Georgia Morris Middle School has qualified as a Special Olympics Unified Champion School for the state of South Dakota. We are excited to learn more about this honor and very proud to represent the Pierre School District in supporting our friends. I enjoy playing beach ball with the kids. Thank you.
The unified chapter is pretty important. Sam works for Minnesota Special Olympics, and he talks about that all the time, so pretty cool.
Great
That's
job.
it. Very good.
I do have a question for those of you in tattoo. What is the most disgusting quote-unquote thing that you found out is in tobacco?
Probably for me, like toilet bowl cleaner or something, or rat poisoning maybe.
I would say rat poisoning.
You know, there are times that I may be at the dentist office and I look up and I read that and I thought, why would anybody want to put that cigarette in their mouth?
Yeah.
It is gross. Awesome job, all of you.
Very good job, well prepared. Excellent job.
Thank you.
We just have 2 more short presentations from the middle school. It's from the adults. We're not as cute as the kids, but we will try. The middle school oftentimes is known for maybe too much energy, but we just wanted to showcase that we have some great things happening at the middle school. We have some positive leaders that truly care about each other. Adolescence oftentimes is all about me, but hopefully what you heard tonight is that those kids care about the students that we have at the middle school. I just wanted to give a short update on where we're at with our scheduling. We went ahead and our counselors actually went into classrooms, and we are going with the schedule that our scheduling committee helped us determine that was the best decision for Georgia Morris Middle School students and staff. And so next year we are going to go to an 8-period day. You will see coming up in our handbook that we are proposing to shift our school day 10 minutes earlier from 7:50 to 2:50 because we will need to do team differently, not to get rid of team, but to do team differently after school. By going to an 8-period day, we will also have 4 lunch periods, so we'll be able to spread out those numbers. Change isn't always bad. One of the things that we are so excited about is going with that 4-period lunch day, or lunch periods, is every student at the middle school next year, regardless if they're in band and chorus, will have a 25-minute study hall on a daily basis. We also are providing more encore opportunities for our students in 7th and 8th grade, more choice, and band and chorus will be offered every day for 7th and 8th graders. And so both Mr. Balk and Mr. Bassel are very excited about that change. And so that's it for me for the scheduling, unless if you have questions about that.
So for those kids, Kylie, that are in band or choir, it doubles the amount of time that they had this year. It's good.
Very exciting. And then our last presentation is we're going to tell you a little bit about our innovative grant that we received from the state. And so I have Mrs. Carr and Miss Mack here from Team Sequoia to let you know about the technology that we're using in 7th grade.
All right. We're just going to tell you a little bit about the Classroom Innovation Grant that has been implemented specifically in the 7th grade teams. So both Team Sequoia and Team Yellowstone have had the opportunity to have a cart full of laptops provided for each core teacher this year. And that was a change from last year and years previously, where we were rotating one cart of laptops for every 4 to 6 teachers or so, and that wasn't necessarily a bad thing, but it really restricted the use of technology in our classrooms on a day-to-day basis. So when the Department of Education offered their Classroom Innovation Grant about a year and a half ago, Dr. Cumbo was very instrumental in helping us prepare that and get that submitted, and really kind of took what feedback we were providing as teachers in as far as needing technology and that being an important piece in the classroom, and submitting that proposal to the Department of Education. So that's been really exciting that that's something that we've been able to implement this year into our classrooms, and we're very fortunate to have been awarded that grant. So.
The main impact that the teachers have seen is just the availability and flexibility we have in technology use, because we do have access to them every day. Many of the teachers are using Google Classroom. They're able to do longer projects involving research and technology because we do have the access to them. Most of the core classes have an online textbook that we're able to better utilize because we can use it on a daily basis with the kids. And then there's just those opportunities for differentiation and remediation with kids through online programs that we have access to. We're able to help teach those technology skills that kids are going to need after they leave us, as well as digital citizenship and research skills.
As far as the impact that we've seen for students, of course, students, they love technology. They really do. So, of course, that was kind of to be expected that, anytime you offer them that laptop, they're pretty excited about that. We provided a survey to the students to see kind of their initial thoughts after a few months of use. And 90% of them said that they had a higher level of interest or engagement in the classroom because of the access of technology. So, an overwhelming amount of them saying that it really has impacted how interested they are, which is excellent. Almost the same amount said that they felt that they learned more because of the amount of technology used in the classroom. And things that they noted that they really liked was that, just a variety of online assessment tools. We call them assessment tools, but they view them as games. So we're trying to sneak it in, but they really enjoy stuff like that. And they've also, I've had students that really appreciate that they can't lose an online assignment, and I've appreciated that as well. But they also like, as far as the assessment goes, they like having that immediate feedback, and so that's also been important too, where they know, here's my strengths, here's my needs, and that's really helped them as well.
We surveyed the parents as well to see what their perception of it was, and about 3/4 of them said they felt their students had a higher level of engagement or interest, and about the same amount said that they felt their child's learning had been enhanced due to the amount of technology. They really liked seeing that they were learning skills they would use beyond the classroom, that they were getting opportunities that they wouldn't have gotten without it, and that they had access to other resources. And then another thing that they mentioned was the fact that their students didn't have to carry around textbooks when they were using the online textbooks.
Very good. Just to clarify, 7th graders each have access to the device. They do not take them home.
Correct.
8th grade students take theirs home
Yes.
and all have one, similar to high school. We're getting closer.
Great
All-
use of technology.
Getting closer all the time.
Seriously, that's awesome.
We're very fortunate.
We have really
They
talked,
Keep pushing, you know, as a board, you know, and keep using that, and I think it's beneficial for you as well. You said you can't lose an online assignment, so I'm sure you appreciate that.
You can.
You can.
You
Well, I can, yeah, no, that's a given, but I'm just saying, so, no, but anyway.
but for at least the last 3 years, the integration and use of technology has been a board goal, and one that obviously has been building goals as well. But I'm telling, the last 2 years has really changed. It seems to me, you can't go in an elementary, middle, or high school classroom where technology is not being used. It's almost impossible to find some place that isn't. And just a few years ago, that wasn't the case. So, and it's a huge investment, so that's great news for school board members to hear that it's being used and used well.
I like your student and parent feedback too. It's always good to hear from those that use it and then those that see how it's being used. So good to have that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And then,
I think now we're at the agenda.
okay, item number 3. Before we adopt the agenda, there are some changes that need to be made. We need to delete item number 11. So delete item number 11. And item number 12, we need to change the word Spanish to algebra. Item 12, change Spanish to algebra. And item 13, we need to delete the word retirement. So we delete retirement in item 13. And need to return to 10A. And at 10A, we need to add request to waiver liquidated damages for the field house project. Item 10A, request to waive liquidated damages to the field house project. With those changes in mind, I would entertain a motion to adopt the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we adopt the agenda as changed. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Against, same sign. Okay, motion passes. Item number 4, moving on to the consent calendar. Hopefully you have all had an opportunity to view that. Questions or comments?
I'd move approval. Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we adopt that we accept the consent calendar. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, motion passes. Item number 5, the fun part of the agenda tonight, part of it anyway, is the recognition of the state wrestling champions. So Coach Lewis, Dr. Turman, and of course, those of you that were responsible for bringing more recognition to our school.
Experts at this.
Yeah. Perfect.
Okay, go ahead, Coach Lewis.
All right. Who we have here with us are our state qualifiers, +1. Our 106-pounder Hayden Schaefer couldn't be here. He's in Arizona with his family. Otherwise, then we got Jace Bench-Brescher at 113. Lincoln Turman, second place finish at state tournament, 120. 126, Jack Van Camp, sixth place finish. 132, Will Turman, first place. Only the fifth, now four-time state champion in South Dakota A wrestling history. 138, Kate Hinkle, sixth place. Michael Lusk, first place, three-time state champ now. Mary Browning, 152, seventh place. Austin Sanger, 160, fifth place. McGuire Rasky, 170, fourth place. Gage Garing, 184, 195. Only weighs about 184. 195, third place. Brother Gunner, big part of our team throughout the year. And then heavyweight, Bryce Dyke, seventh place. Now, a little snapshot about our year. I figured I'd kind of give everybody a, hey, how did we get here? Here was our season in a nutshell. A couple years ago, we had about a 205-point season, and things were easy, and I got accused of being able to gas up the bus and take attendance with these guys, coaches Chad Urick and Travis Heasley. But this year was not the case. So right away, we returned 4 state place winners from the previous year. We had the pressure of trying to be only the third team in history ever to win 4 state championships in a row. Our football state championship game was on Friday. We started wrestling on Monday. Michael Lusk, Austin Sanger, Gage Garing, Kate Hinkle, Bryce Dyke, Gunnar Gary, McGuire Rasky, and Barry Browning had Saturday and Sunday to rest. Before the season started, we had a wrestler who had both of his grandparents pass away. We had a meniscus surgery first week of the season. We had a sprained rotator cuff during football. We had a lower leg injury that had vast amounts of swelling. We had academic struggles. We went to the Watertown dual tournament, lost 1 dual, and yet placed 5th. Rapid City Invite, first place. We had yet another meniscus surgery. We had multiple sicknesses, including some on the bus ride to the Elk Point tournament. Elk Point Jefferson tournament, we got 2nd. Aberdeen Central dual, Bismarck Rotary, 3rd place. We had more knee swelling on an already operated on meniscus. Mitchell dual, Mitchell tournament, 2nd place. Brandon Valley dual, Yankton dual, a perfect 3-0 at East-West duels. A massive skin infection. Our Brookings dual. Brookings tournament, 1st place. More sickness. Huron dual, broken thumb. Yankton tournament, 2nd place, missing 3 starters. Harrisburg dual, region tournament, 1st place. Severe dehydration, another ER visit. The King of Hearts dance, which is always an interesting one for a coach. State tournament rolls around. We have another ACL tear, a rotator cuff sprain, a shoulder subluxation, and a torn hamstring. But with all of that, a 4th straight state championship.
I've been to quite a few state wrestling championships, tournaments, and this was one of the most exciting. You made it. I happened to be the superintendent in Canton, happens to be a good friend of mine, and you guys know they've won a few at the B level. I told him on Saturday, I said, it's going to be kind of tough for us now. And he goes, oh, you guys just like to make it interesting. I guess he was right, because you did. Made it as interesting as it could be. But I thought on the, when we got back home, and you guys had your reception, I thought that was it was amazing to me, kind of how Coach Lewis summarized that every, and you guys know it better than any of us, every single match counted.
every pin, every 1.5 points is that's a close tournament. But it was very, very entertaining. And you know the other thing that I think that I don't know if you guys realize, in 11 years I've been here, I haven't missed very many wrestling duels, but I've never seen as many people in our gym for a duel as at Harrisburg. That Harrisburg duel, that had to be fun. Our gym was packed, and our gym should be packed every time we wrestle, because look at the success you guys have had. 6 out of 7. I hear the 4 straight all the time, but 6 out of 7. And then you think about how easy it could have been 7 out of 7. That's pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. So I don't want to single any of you guys out, but congratulations to all of you, regardless of how you did. Okay, these guys, this is where they lay down every year. We lay down on the floor.
Watch this.
Okay, now guys, that's the agenda we're going to go through.
So I'll comment real quick. I mean, Coach Noyes had pointed me back to I had shared a list of all the different highlight videos that I've done of the team. This goes back to when he won his first one 7 years ago. I just randomly had asked as kind of a gift for him and how great that season was. You know, I just want to rewatch all those videos. I asked for the footage that they had taken down on the mat with the cameras that the school had, and did about a 7-minute video. When I look back at it now, it's very archaic in nature, and we've certainly kind of changed it up. I go in thinking that we've got a really good chance of getting first or second. And so the girls now, the managers, I should say, do a fantastic job. And I give them my 2 cameras and I say, never stop recording. Record a minute before the kids walk out on the mat, record until they're done and their stuff is, don't follow them into the locker room, but catch everything you can. And it was like 8 hours of footage. And then I get down to about an hour, and then I squeeze that down to about 30 minutes. And then you try to get it down to about 6 minutes, and I leave a ton of stuff off. But at the very end of the day, I think you guys did a fantastic job, and hopefully the video tries to capture that. You're going to hear it. I'll have it as loud as it can be. For some reason, it's not going through the speakers, but I think you'll hear it just fine through my computer. But I'll post this to Twitter and Facebook afterwards as well.
It's real simple. Now, you all have known me for a while, and for a long time now you've been hearing me talk about being perfect. Well, I want you to understand something. To me, being perfect, it's not about winning. It's about you and your relationship to yourself and your family and your friends. Being perfect is about being able to look your friends in the eye and know that you didn't let them down. And that truth is that you did everything that you could. There wasn't one more thing that you could have done. Can you live in that moment as best you can with clear eyes? If you can do that, gentlemen, then you're perfect. I want you to take a moment and I want you to look each other in the eyes. I want you to put each other in your hearts forever, because forever is about to happen here in just a few minutes. I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to think about your brother, and he would die to be out here tonight. Boys, my heart is full. My heart's full.
was a chance to make you understand and tell you the these forgotten truths you never thought were real. And if the world should turn its back, you know that I'm still here. Time won't ever steal my soul. And we're not broken, so please come home. And life moves on. And when it changed, you didn't know you belong. And I'll still catch you when you fall through a past that steals your sleep. And scrawl these words upon your wall, remind you to believe. Soul. We're not broken, so please come home. And if the world has worn you down, and I'll be waiting, so please come home. I won't let them break you down. Hear the empty sounds. I'm hopelessly pretending that I know the answer. Angels light the neon fires that burn so cold through your desires. And all you are is all I need to know.
Sorry about the technical errors.
Good job, people.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Good job, guys.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Lots of proud people around town, that's for sure.
Thank you.
And you can stay all for the rest of the meeting if you want.
I need a ride.
We have dinner reservations.
Thank you. Okay, item number 6. Superintendent's comments. Kelly.
Okay, I teasing Randy, he saw that I had my comments typed up, so whenever there's a typed page, it might be a little bit longer, but I don't have that many. I started off by just saying how fast the year is flying by, but it seems like I say that every month. And tonight is one of those fun meetings. We have some business to take care of, but there's a lot more fun things that with the middle school and the wrestlers. Kind of neat to be able to, that's the third team we've had here. And we only invite the champions, so That's a pretty good feat for a school district our size. First thing I guess I would talk about a little bit is the legislative session. I'm not going to go into all the different bills that were passed or killed. A lot of bills this year, more bills than most years. Most of the education bills were killed, needed to be killed, and so that was a good thing. Of course, the big thing is typically is the dollars, so that always is ends up the last day, and as it was this year. So what it ended up as, and I'm sure it'll remain this way, is that they were able to find 1% ongoing dollars for us increase, which is more than they said at the beginning. If you remember, it wasn't just a couple months ago when the governor stood in front of the state and said we're more than likely getting 0. So 1% is better probably than we expected. We'd hoped for a little more than that throughout the session, but they also did come up with 0.7% of one-time money. You know, those are always a little more challenging, but that it's certainly appreciated. So one-time ongoing and 0.7 one-time. So now the negotiations process, it's kind of already begun, but as you'll notice that we have an executive session tonight. Darla has analyzed the legislative sessions, the impact of that on our district. We'll discuss all of those things tonight in executive session, and the negotiations process has began. So very obvious that one of the topics, not only just around our state and around the town, but around the country, is school safety right now. It's a huge issue. I happened to be at the National Conference on Education the day after the incident in Florida, and it completely changed that conference. There's superintendents from all over the country, so this conversation is happening all over. It's sad that we have to have the conversation, but I want to make sure that everybody knows. I hope it goes without saying, there's not a school board member, and there's not an administrator on our administrative team, and there's not a teacher in our district, or a para, or a food service employee, or a custodian. That's number one priority isn't the safety of our kids and our staff. So that will always be our priority. Yeah, we love winning athletic contests. We brag about our academic achievement, but none of those things can happen if our kids aren't safe, and we want to make sure they're safe. We review and revise our crisis plan often. We're in the middle of doing it again. We had a meeting last week. We're very fortunate to have Carrie Lightholt and Randy as in their positions, in their real jobs as emergency management for the state of South Dakota. They were at our meeting. We had Captain Jones, who is now named Chief Jones. Not sure anybody, you guys all know that, but Jason Jones is the new Chief of Police. He was at our meeting. Fire Chief Ian Pauls, the State Fire Marshal, number of administrators from the district, principals, and we had some really good conversations about our crisis plan and things that we will likely change in the future, some that we might keep the same. So as you know, we've mentioned a few different times, due to Carrie's position, she's organized for a team of us, mostly school staff, but some of those others are SROs, fire chief, fire marshal, some of those, to go with us and be part of our team to the Emergency Management Institute in Emmitsburg, Maryland. We're going to be the first district in the state to have that opportunity, and it was supposed to be in April. Ended up, because of the one-day government shutdown, cost us a few months, so it's not until July. But our team will be going in July. We'll do a lot of work before then. We'll do a lot of work after that. And I have no doubt a lot of our pre-service work next year before opening the school will be spent on our crisis plan and changes that have been made or will be made. And I would venture to guess that will be the case all across the country. So enough of that for now. We also had last week a policy committee meeting. Carrie Lightholt and Dr. Turman are the two board members on our policy committee, and Troy and Darla and I sat down and discussed a number of policies. You're going to see just one of those tonight. The others we were not prepared to bring tonight. They'll be back to the board in April. we're talking about some rather significant changes. Mr. Mosier was at the meeting presenting, as he has worked with the Riggs principals and the coaches. We're looking at some pretty significant changes in our training rules, I believe. We're also clarifying, going to make sure that we are very clear on our homeschool, private school participation policies, what it takes to participate in the Pierre School District extracurriculars. There's a few other minor policies, so just so the board is aware that those will be back before you here for first reading next month. A vehicle use policy, a couple other policies. And another thing I would mention is we have been, and I think it's worked very well for us. I don't know if this is a prescribed term or not, but I see us as a pretty goal-driven district. The process that we have had in the past to give direction to our teachers and principals and everyone has evolved greatly over the years. I think what we've done recently has worked really well. So, I'll work with Dennis to see if we want to change any of those things. But Mr. Wiebe, I know, is not here tonight, but he has planned that our administrative retreat this year will be May 31st. I believe that's a Thursday. So it would be great if maybe we could do our board retreat the 29th or the 30th of May. In the past, what we've done, and as you know, all the administrative team is involved with the full school board during that board retreat. We could do our board retreat on maybe the 29th or 30th, one of those evenings, and then all day on the 31st for our admin. That just sets us up for a busy summer, but a productive summer, because we know where we're at. Years ago, and I have no idea why we did it so long. It probably took a board member to ask me why we weren't doing it that way, but we used to wait and we'd do our board goals in August, and it doesn't make a lot of sense when we have the summer to work on all those things. So the timing of that, I guess. And the last thing that I want to just bring up real briefly, it wouldn't be right if I didn't talk just a little bit about the snow days. I know that. Look at these two girls smiling back there. I do get a little bit of grief sometimes about not calling snow days. And I tell people it has nothing to do with the fact that we don't care about the safety of our kids. We do care about the safety of our kids. But to have 2 in a row is, I don't know for sure if that's ever happened or not. But there again, Dan Frost and his guys, I'm in contact with them throughout and on those type of evenings. But it's pretty nice, again, to have the emergency management's information when it comes to the latest forecast. And so the one thing I would say about that is, I'll mention a little bit more in a later agenda item, but I have never had so many kids, it doesn't matter, elementary, middle, or high school level, talk to me in a couple-day period of since I've been here. First, they might say, thank you for the snow day. But then I'm also so glad that just on a afterthought, I added the little comment about shoveling snow. That's what they all came to talk to me about. I'd have high school kids say, why did you have to say that? I had to shovel snow for hours. And elementary kids saying, well, my mom made me shovel it. So there was, if we ever have another snow day, I'm going to make the shoveling comment again. I can tell you that. But I do want one quick reminder, and then I'm done with my comments. When we don't call snow days, it's not the same for everybody. If you live out of town, or you live in an area where it's impossible for you or it's dangerous, we never ever want a parent to endanger themselves or certainly endanger their children to get them to school. So if we have school and it's not good where you live, call in. Don't come to school. Some of that I put a little bit of that back on the parents. That's kind of up to you to determine whether or not if we're having schools. Because the other part of it, I will say, that I don't mention often, every time we have school when it's questionable, one of the things I like to know is from Liz how many lunches and breakfasts we served. Because like it or not, and realize it or not, there's some kids that maybe wouldn't have got to eat those meals. had we not had school. And I know for a fact our schools will be warm and they'll be safe for kids. So our staff, if our staff can get there, we're probably gonna have school most of the time. And as many kids as can get there, great. Okay, unless you have questions, that's all the comments I have.
Okay, seeing none. Item number 7, board comments. Anyone?
Just a reminder, I guess I'm going to be attending the National School Board Conference in San Antonio coming up in April. So I'm looking forward to that, and I just wanted to make sure everyone was where I will actually be here at the school board meeting in April, as far as I'll be on my way back home from San Antonio. So looking forward to the conference. I think it's going to be really good. So thank you for allowing me to do that. So good.
Thank you. Okay, item number 8, Rig Student Senates. And as normal, when you come up, please identify yourselves.
Is it okay if we turn this off?
Oh, yes, yep.
Okay. Oh. Okay. Hi, my name is Sophia Steuben. I'm a junior.
Hi, my name is Ashlyn Briggs. I'm also a junior.
So, do you want to start?
Yep. Okay, I'll start. In February, we had a blood drive, and it goes, usually we do 2 a year, and it starts right away at 8 o'clock in the morning all the way up until about 2 o'clock, just to make sure all the United Blood Services employees can get back to their station in Mitchell safely before the light goes away for the night. We only had one slot that wasn't filled, which was pretty nice compared to the blood drives before. We had a lot of spots that weren't filled, so we took it upon, Sophie and I and our, we went around the English classrooms and we really pushed for the kids. We're like, guys, really need the blood units. A lot of the blood that's donated in hospitals and around the country comes from high school blood drives. So it's really important for the kids in the high schools to donate, to make sure we get the numbers up there, to make sure that we have enough to distribute to those who need it.
Yep. We also did a food drive. Oh, sorry, did you have comments? Okay. We also had a food drive. We extended that for 3 weeks. So first we had it in the library, then we moved it to English classrooms. And when it was in the English classrooms, that's when a lot of the food came in because the teachers could push it more. So we had around 250 pounds of food, so that was really awesome. And we just did that with PARs. So yeah, and then we're giving certificates out to the kids as rewards for bringing donations. So.
Okay, and then around Valentine's Day, we do a matchmaker quiz. So the kids go online and do just a little personality sort of thing, like what your interests are and what you look for in a person or whatever. And the computer generates who you're matched with, and then we sell the results at lunch for
$2.
$2 a piece. And we made $300 off of that for our own organization to use for things like homecoming decorations and things like food for the blood drive and things throughout the year. So that helps build up our account and take care of things throughout the year.
Another event that we had scheduled for February was Mr. PHS, but unfortunately that was scheduled during the 2 snow days that we had. So those, sorry. So that was canceled, but we're looking for another dates to come up because that's a big fundraiser for the Children's Miracle Network that we do. So I think the next available date is up in April, sorry. I think the next available date is in April. So we'll see if we can do that and get everyone together. We're working on it. So yeah, that's what's happening with Mr. PHS.
Okay, and then Pi Day this Wednesday, March 14th. This is the 3rd year we'll do this, I think. 2nd or 3rd year? Second
This
year.
is our second?
So yeah, 2nd year that we do the pie throw. It's just we do a plate of whipped cream, and then teachers volunteer their lunch period to stand up. It's a big cardboard cutout, and then there's holes for the face, and the kids get to throw a plate of whipped cream for $2, throw it at a teacher's face. It's a really big fundraiser for us. It was a really good turnout last year, and the teachers were really good about it. They loved it, and the kids loved taking their anger out on the teachers and just keep handing us money. I mean, we keep throwing the plates out at them. They love it. So. It's good fun.
If we got school board members to go, would it be like $5 a plate? Do you get more for principals? Do they do it too?
Are you guys signed up? I don't know.
I would say that's a no.
I might have to change.
Mrs. Vogt, how about you?
I haven't even heard about it.
The superintendent might be a long line for a shoveling comment.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure. So the last thing that we have for you guys is that state's coming up here in March, the 25th and 26th, I believe it is. So we're taking 25 students to state, and we're going to have a fun time there. So that's going to be awesome.
And then it usually is 3 days, but this year they're cutting it to 2 days because the third day that we usually have, I've gone my freshman, sophomore, and this will be my third year going. Usually the third day is not very exciting for the kids, so they're just cutting it, they're shortening it and making it as jam-packed as we can in 2 days instead of skipping more school and spending more money. So we're just making it as short and sweet as possible this year. So that'll be just a Sunday and a Monday this year. So
yep, that's all we have for you guys. Do you have any questions?
I have no doubt you will represent us well.
Oh, thank you.
Where is state at?
State's in Rapid this year.
yeah, at the Civic Center. And usually we stay a hotel super close or the one that's connected.
Yep.
You guys don't wear shirts that say like 3-team state championships or?
I wish.
We do have a day that we
Title
wear Pierre shirts though. We usually
Yeah.
do one where we wear the one for our region. So we're the
Good.
capital region. So we wear our orange shirts that day and then another day we wear our Pierre shirts.
Yep.
Good deal.
Thanks, Lynn.
Good.
All right,
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Okay, on to item number 9, which is one of the more exciting parts of tonight, where we are being able to honor our Teacher of the Year candidate, Liz Vogt. So, Kelly.
Just make a few comments quick. This process has evolved over the years too. It used to be, and it wasn't all that long ago, probably 5 years ago, that we used to pick 3 or, I'd say, how many can we have? And we'd have 3 or 4, and we'd just turn everybody's name in and send them on to the regional competition. And it's changed. About 5 or 6 years ago, they decided that no matter the size of your district, you can just have 1. So I can tell you that Mrs. Vogt has been nominated every year. I can tell you that a year does not go by that I do not personally receive emails from college professors thanking me, which I did nothing, obviously, for having Liz Vogt on our staff because and they're all the same. Mr. M can tell you the same thing. He gets the emails as well, and they're almost all the same from different people, but they say, I know when a kid comes from TF Riggs and if they've been in Liz Vogt's class. So the biggest compliment that we get, I think, is when kids come back and say, college was not that hard for me. Mrs. Vogt's class was harder than college for me. And they say that in other subject matters as well, but I can tell you that you won't be very hard to find a student who's been in Mrs. Vogt's class that wouldn't agree that that they learned a great deal. So very well deserved, and I think the funnest days that I have of the school year, and it didn't have anything to do with the snow days, but Wednesday and Thursday of last week I walked around to 23 different teachers that all were nominated by either their colleagues, their principal, their peers, a student, and I get to congratulate them for being nominated, and I hand them the nomination sheets. Sometimes there's 3 or 4, sometimes there's just 1, and I promise you, there's very few of them that when they read it, they have dry eyes. Because when your colleagues are praising you for being, and think that you deserve to be the teacher of the year, it's pretty cool. And so it's a great day, and the funnest part obviously is telling the person who is the teacher of the year. So I know it's not a big thing, but we have a certificate that we would like, we'd like to present you with, Liz, and if you'd be willing to say a few words, that would be tremendous.
Okay.
Well, I would just say thank you to all of you and how much I've enjoyed teaching in Pierre. I have been here for, I hate to say, I think this will be my 30th year. And I taught 9 years before that in Stanley County. And I've just been so blessed to be in this district and have loved every minute and every year of my teaching. And I'm glad to still have a few more good years in me, I hope. And so thank you so much for this really nice honor. I really appreciate it.
And I am very hopeful, Liz and I already had this conversation, that she does, we never force anybody, but I'm certainly hopeful that she moves forward to the regional and the state competition, because I've said this about very, very few other teachers in the past, but I would if somebody deserves the Teacher of the Year in the state of South Dakota more than Liz Vogt, I want to meet that person. And we need to hire him if we can.
Okay, congratulations again, Liz. Okay, item number 10, board policy on internal controls, first reading. Darla.
All right, you all have in your board packet this month a new board policy on internal controls, and this policy is up for first reading today, so you can have a chance to review it and make any comments back to me that you may have in the next month, and then the plan would be to do a final reading of the policy at the April board meeting. The internal control policy is really just documenting the policies that we have in place to segregate duties primarily within the finance office, and it's being implemented at the request of our auditors. It's a policy that a lot of our grants are also looking for. A lot of the entities that grant funds to us are also looking for one internal control policy. A lot of the items that are listed are listed within job descriptions that have already been approved by the board, and so they're in other areas of our current board policies, but they aren't found within one place. So this takes all those and puts them into one place. I would see this being sort of an ongoing work in progress, and anytime we can identify new procedures and processes that will help to strengthen our internal controls, we'll go ahead and do that. And so you'll see this being, I think, revised over time and improved as we, come up with new and better processes for doing things. But this should document those policies and be a great starting point and a good foundation to continue to strengthen our internal controls and segregation of duties. Any questions?
Okay. This is a carryover until next month, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, item 10A, which was a change to the agenda, is a request to waive liquidated damages on the Fieldhouse project. Darla.
All right, as the board is aware, we reached substantial completion on the Hollister Fieldhouse on February 12th. That was actually 17 days past the contractual completion date. That was listed within the contract with Sharp Enterprises, and so our contract does call for liquidated damages of $200 per day, which would total $3,400. Sharp Enterprises did write a letter to the board, which I've provided to you, requesting that those liquidated damages be waived due to some unforeseen circumstances. And related to that, our architect, Coke Hazard, wrote a response and recommendation to the board regarding the request to waive liquidated damages. And as you'll see within Coke Hazard's response, Sharp Enterprises did not notify the board of the delay in construction under the contractual, based on the contractual requirements, and really does not qualify for the waiver of liquidated damages of $3,400. So I'm asking for your consideration of this request so that we can communicate back to Sharp Enterprises and what the board's decision is regarding the request to waive the liquidated damages.
So do we have a motion?
I'd move that we deny the request. I tend to agree with the recommendation from Coke Hazard. I think had we been notified in a timely fashion, which was laid out in the contract, that certainly is one thing. I also, with the projects that we've done, and projects we have in the future, I don't know if we want to set a precedence that we would approve these. So that would be my motion.
I second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we deny the request to waive liquidated damages to Sharp Enterprises. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, motion passes. Item number 11 has been deleted, as we stated earlier. Item number 12, waiver administrative rules, where there was a small change. We changed it from Spanish to algebra.
And I do apologize to board members, there's not an attachment for you. If you go back out to the, where the agenda is, it is above that. This basically, you guys have done a number of these for us. It's for the middle school. It's an waiver of administrative rule. What it will do for the next 5 years, you have to renew this each 5 years. So what it means is that certain students that complete Algebra 1 at a required level will earn a high school credit while they're at the middle school. So we have the same situation for Spanish. We have the same situation for world history. So there's a few that we do this for, and as you know, when we do that, it allows students to be able to take other classes when they get to high school. Not every student can do it, obviously, because it's the level of difficulty is higher than would be able for some to do. So I would recommend your approval of the waiver of administrative rule for Algebra 1.
So approved.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the waiver of administrative rule for algebra.
So, quick question. They don't require the exams anymore, though, right?
No.
Do they still just have it on the form?
That was the most current one.
No other question. I didn't think that we did. We have our own test, though, right? Yeah,
Yes.
that's what I
Yes.
recall.
Yep.
You had, yeah. Okay.
Okay, there is a motion on the floor. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, motion passes. Item number 13, resignations.
Okay, we do have a few resignations, and as we've talked about the last few months, it's the time of year that we do lose some staff, whether they're moving from town, or there's always a wide variety of reasons, obviously, but we're losing some pretty good young teachers, young staff members here, so I don't have big bios written up on them, but as far as certified staff resignation, Sam Schutzel, a math teacher at Riggs, Sydney Fleming was our new school psychologist. She was just here that 1 year. And Brenda Jallo, our school nurse at Jefferson and Kennedy. So those are resignations, and some classified resignations as well there, and extra duty. Jessica Haugensped, paraprofessional, and Brittany Green, a gymnastic coach at the middle school.
I'd move approval.
Second.
Okay, moved and seconded that we approve the resignations. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, motion passes. Item number 14, contracts.
I just have one contract for your consideration. That's Nathan Nas, a special education teacher at Riggs.
Move approval.
Second.
Okay, been moved and approved that we accept the resignation, or the contract issued, excuse me. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, motion passes. Okay, I'd entertain a motion for us to move into executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, we are in executive session.